Hey y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have a look at the Candy Coat collection from Cirque Colors that is available right now over on their website. These are made with some designing elements from Lauren Martin. She's done some of the extras that they have available right now in their holiday section. These are also available in minis in advent calendar style. So I'll go ahead and link that down below if you're interested. So first up is Candy Apple, and this polish is described as being a red jelly with tons of dazzling iridescent flakies spread throughout. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how this swatched today for me on my natural nails. Here's a look at that first easy coat. All of these are going to be a jelly base to help those flakies build up and to add some depth to the nail. However, this one did go on fairly sheer. I'm going to go ahead and complete this coat, let it dry down, and then show you how it built up for me with a quick second coat. 2 coats is going to add more of the flakies to the nail, and these kind of really pop out as being gold and green with this color base. So 2 coats is going to add a little depth and some more coverage. It's not completely opaque though, so I'm going to go ahead and let that dry down and then show you how it built up for me with a 3rd coat. These are kind of amazing in that they are packed with flakes, but they are not going to be textured on the nail whatsoever. The flakes lay nice and flat. So there is a look at that completed mani. This is 3 coats. I'm going to show you what it looks like before a glossy top coat. So even there you can see like literally no texture. Super gorgeous on the nail. I did wear this polish for about a week and I loved it. The wear time was amazing. It lasted like I think 6 days before I had any chips. And this is my final swatch photo with a glossy top coat as well as a matte top coat. So next up is Bonbon, and she is described as a hot pink jelly nail polish with the dazzling iridescent flakes. So those flakes are really going to be what makes this collection super cohesive. Here they're popping out with blues and maybe some pinks as well as those really strong gold and green tones. So here's a first look at how Bonbon applied to my natural nail. Again, fairly sheer with that jelly base. However, I like this at 1 coat. I am going to go ahead and build it up to full coverage, but I was not mad at that at all. So here's a quick look at how that 2nd coat built up. I think this one is going to be, it's going to be a 3 coater, but 2 coats again is like definitely hot pink and nice and even coverage on the nail. I am going to go ahead and let this dry down and show you how it built up for me with a 3rd coat. These do dry down fairly quickly, so you're not going to be stuck waiting for your nails to dry, and it's not an issue to build this up to full coverage. And I'm all about getting the most flakies on my nails as I can. So here's a quick look at what that looks like before even a glossy top coat. Super gorgeous. This is definitely going to be towards the top of the collection for me, a must-have in my opinion. So here's a look at Bonbon with a glossy top coat and then once more with a matte top coat. So next up is a Fairy Floss, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys right out of the gate that this one was a surprise favorite for me. In the bottle, it looks a little unassuming, so this one is described as a sheer pink jelly nail polish with dazzling iridescent flakes. So I wasn't expecting too much out of this. It looks a little bit sheer and a little bit light. I'm going to go ahead and show you how it's swatched today for me on my natural nail. Here with this first coat, it just makes like a clean blush of color on the nail, and then those flakes add something really interesting. I love this polish. Like, it was like a surprise favorite for sure, but I was so upset that this was not the last one that I swatched of the collection, so I had to take it off and immediately put another one on. But this one is stunning. So again, 3 coats for full coverage over black. It's also pretty gorgeous. You're gonna get all of those flaky shifts, and just that blush of color is pretty unassuming over black, so it's not going to stand out too much. But here is a look at that completed mani of Fairy Floss at 3 coats before a glossy top coat. This one is giving like lots of blue tones in those flakies. I'm in love. Wait till you see it with a matte top coat as well. So here's a look at that completed mani. You can still see visible nail line here, so it's not complete coverage. And then with a matte top coat, just stunning and very dainty and delicate on the nail. Next up is Sour Punch, and she is described as a bright lime green jelly nail polish with those dazzling iridescent flakies. This one is so opalescent, super bright on the nails. Like, I'm loving that this is part of the winter or like as we're getting closer to Christmas collection, but I could see this like rocking during the summer. So here's a look at that first easy coat. This one has a little bit more pigment in that jelly base, so a good amount of coverage as well as a good amount of flakies. I'm going to go ahead and build it up with a quick 2nd coats. 2 coats is not going to be full coverage. You can still see my visible nail line popping there, but it does add more flakies, and I got a really large one there towards my cuticle that was popping in all these pictures. So here is a look at my 3rd and final coat for today. 3 coats does pretty much push it to full coverage. This one I know my friends are going to love, so I'm probably going to pass it on, but it is gorgeous. So here's a look at that completed mani. The 3 coats before a glossy top coat, no texture. at all. Super beautiful combination of colors. This is my final swatch photo with a glossy top coat. And then once more with a matte top coat to really bring those flakes to the forefront. Next up in the collection, we have a snow cone, and she is described as a sky blue jelly nail polish with those dazzling iridescent flakies. Y'all, I'm feeling blues right now. This is going to be my second top pick underneath Fairy Floss. Beautiful opalescent colors. You get lots of those pinks and purples, just everything popping in there. It is, again, in that jelly base coat, so here's a look at that first easy coat. Does go on nice and evenly, however, quite sheer. I'm going to even out those flakes, let it dry down, and then show you how it built up for me the quick second coat. The only thing I want to mention when applying these polishes is sometimes the larger flakes will kind of want to hang off the end of the nail. All you have to do is bump them back on, no issues. Again, these flakes are super thin, they lay nice and flat, and they're not an issue to work with. So there's a look at two coats. Two coats, especially with the thicker second coat, is kind of right on the edge of being nice coverage. I'm gonna go ahead and even this coat out, let it dry down, and then show you how it built up for me with a quick third coat. So here's a look at that third and final coat. Again, I went in a little bit thicker with this one. I didn't have any issues with it pooling or taking too long to dry. So 3 coats is going to be full coverage for me. I'm going to go ahead and complete this coat, let it dry down, and then show you what the completed mani looks like. So here is a look at that finished mani at 3 coats before a glossy top coat. Like I have lots of red tones in my skin that I kind of worry about popping out with a lighter blue shade. This is not doing that at all for me. It's super flattering. So this is my final photo with a glossy top coat and then with a matte top coat, and that is where it's at. So the last polish of this collection is the purple shade, and this is Sugar Plum, and Sugar Plum is a lilac jelly nail polish with those same dazzling iridescent flakies. This one is my favorite with a matte top coat, so wait until you see that. So here's a look at that first easy coat. Again, this one is fairly sheer. It does go on and nice and even with just a slight blush of pigment and those flakes. So I'm going to let that dry down and then come back and show you what it looks like with a quick second coat. 2 coats is going to bump up that lilac coverage and add more flakes. I'm really kind of interested to see how these would do sponged on as well. I think that flake payoff would be amazing, and then finishing it off with just, you know, a regular coat of polish. I bet that would be intense. So, but for today, I'm just going to do 3 coats, and 3 coats does pretty much push it to full coverage with no texture, just lots of gorgeous shine. I think these do dry down maybe just a slight dull, so I do recommend going in with your favorite glossy top coat or matte, depending on what your preferences are for that day. So here is a quick look at that completed mani at 3 coats before a glossy top coat, kind of at an angle underneath my artificial lighting. And then this is a view of my final picture with a glossy top coat underneath that same lighting, and then with a matte top coat to really let those flakies shine. So that does wrap up my swatch and review of the Candy Coat collection. These are available right now, and I think they're going to be perfect for gifting, especially for that advent calendar. I'm really lusting over that, even though I have the full-size bottles. So if you'd like to see more, I will leave Cirque Colors website down below. A big, huge thank you to them for sending these my way. If you'd like to see more, you can also follow me on Instagram at Sloppy Swatches. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.